So, starting off, I can't exactly say I'm a casual player or an intermediate player for fighting games. I've been able to lab all of the cool combos for characters I like. I've never really managed to get anywhere around being good at the games when I'm playing them. Whether it be Tekken, Street Fighter, or any other fighting game really. I've started playing the game online after finding a character I like. Get pissed off, maybe break a controller or two, but we're not going to talk about that. And I stop. And, you might be thinking, why the fuck is this guy saying all this stuff? Just off the rip. And to that I say, Street Fighter 6 is the most fun I've probably ever had playing a fighting game online. And this game is going to be something really special. So I'm just gonna do a normal pros and cons list for why and why not the game works for me. And the first thing is that the online. The biggest thing in this new COVID era of fighting games is if the game is playable online. The biggest reason why I can never really get good at fighting games, i.e. Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5, is that I had to fight people just as lost as me in the game, starting new. I had to learn the game's mechanics, and biggest of all, I had to fight the game's online itself. And playing a fighting game where the input delay is just as bad as some of your hardest hitting moves, Tekken, it's a huge turnoff. And man, am I glad to say Street Fighter 6 does not have that issue. The rollback in this game is genuinely some of the best netcode I've ever played in a AAA title. Playing people on yellow connections, red connections, 2-3 bars is actually fun. You can play the game. Only a few hiccups that I've really experienced in the beta. This netcode is nothing less than fantastic. Going into the next pro, Jury's feet, and the next pro for me, the characters. All of the legacy characters are better than ever, and all of the newcomers are fucking sick. I don't know how they did it, but they made Ryu fun to play as and watch. Like, big hats off to you. I don't know how the fuck you did it, but you did it. And as an average Ken enjoyer, it feels good to have a new iteration of the character that doesn't look like utter dog shit. Going back to Ryu for a bit, they found a way to make Ken edgier than him, which is nuts to me. Again, Capcom, hats off to you. You're fucking nuts. Like, okay. Like, if you're playing against another Ken as Ken, he says the edgiest shit I've ever heard, where it's like, it feels like the only person who understands the nature of my struggle is me. And it's like, dude, Ken, what happened to you, buddy? And, Chun-Li's thighs are a sight to behold, and her combos are too. Getting sent to the outer rim never felt so nice, or looked so nice like that. Never really been too big on Jury as a character, so I can't particularly say I noticed the changes for her. And fucking Guile is just Guile. Just keep doing you, dog. Fuck if I know. But enough about the old guys. In with the new. Luke, Jamie, Kimberly, and whoever else is coming, because this is, just the beginning. They're some of the coolest Youngblood characters Street Fighter has ever had. Bring back Sean, please, I'm begging you. Anyways, getting kick-flipped like a skateboard by Kimberly, or getting donkey punched by Luke is a sight to see, and their strings are some of the most insane stuff I've seen in fighting games, probably since Marvel 3. New boy, am I glad alcoholics have a character representing them. Jamie is a great inclusion as well, but I fought him so fucking much I never want to play against him ever again. Another pro, the Battle Hub. The Battle Hub is one of the most unintentionally funny things about the game. It has gotten me cry laughing a couple times. Whether it be from the character customization or harassing look, dear God, on the first day of the game before I actually played the fucking thing.
Why is this on my nuts? What is wrong with these people? I'm literally in a fucking Battle Hub. Weirdo ass cuck. This dude is a fucking weirdo, man.
We're cyber stalking Maximilian, dude. The hub is it's a trip. It's a blast. And this can go without being said, but fuck you, I'm saying it anyways. Thank God the fucking grid is gone. Praise the Lord. The ability to customize what stages you see and what music you hear and it not affecting the other player's game is fucking amazing. And now here are the two biggest pros for me. The first one being the vibe. After Third Strike, I feel Street Fighter had lost its identity. I know it's a bit of a hot take, but I never really liked 4 and 5. 5 was a game, and the biggest issue I had with them is that they never really had that identity that Capcom nailed with Third Strike. I miss the corny raps, the stupid fucking combos, and just the entire feeling of the game. And I feel that now they have nailed it. They got the lightning in the bottle again. They found their stride. The atmosphere is perfect. I love some of the music. We'll talk about that later. The gameplay, the stages, everything feels like it's honing back to that Third Strike era of the game. Not even in gameplay I'm talking about. It's just the vibe, the atmosphere, and I love it. And now, the biggest thing for me. The game itself. I am so fucking sick of competitive games, especially fighting games. Fighting games that are just overly balanced, overly simple, no real interesting mechanics. Just overly balanced, made for the pros, and casual players, you can go die. That's what I never really liked about Street Fighter V. That's why I don't like most of the new fighting games. And Street Fighter 6 has gone against that grain completely. This game is batshit insane. Whether it be Ken knuckle fucking you and dragging you from one side of the stage to the other, drive impacts and parries being in the game, and the strings and overall gameplay and how flashy it is, this game is a joy to play and to watch, and it's good to see Street Fighter being Street Fighter again and going back to what I loved about this franchise. But enough good stuff. I want to talk about some stuff that's a bit negative. The performance needs to be worked on. The hub on average is around 40 to 50 frames per second, and sometimes when I join a match the game would dip into 30 frames, and sometimes, rarely, into the 10 to 15 range, but it irons itself out around 10 seconds into the game. But with a big fighting game where any split second could cause life or death, especially in this game, that can't really happen. And this may be a hot take, I don't know the consensus right now, but the music for me is hit or miss. I love some themes like the hub, the main menu, Ryu, Ken's, Luke's, and Jamie's, so Kimberly too. They're pretty good, but I'm not too big on Chun-Li, Guile, or Jury's themes. And they kind of miss for me. This is a bit of a nitpick, I mean maybe, but I wanted to say it because I felt it. I mean, you know, Jury's is probably because I went on a 70 loss streak on the first night of the game against her. But we're not gonna talk about that. And this is easily the biggest offender, or offenders if you want to say. It's the UI and visibility. This game is kind of overcomplicated and overly simplified when it comes to the UI at the same time. There feels like there's way too much in some areas and too little in others. For the first about hour of the first day of the beta, I just had to learn how to change characters and stuff. The pause menus, specifically on the start button, are really weird. And it's fine in the ranked and like actual character systems when you find them, but some of the pause menus look like an NBA 2K game and it needs some work. And also, going back to Drive Impact, is it busted? Yes. But I think it's fine. But there's one thing that I would recommend, and this is talking about that visibility aspect of it. I think every character should have one similar color for the Drive Impact. And then once it actually hits, it'll do the big character color flourish. Because I feel that right now, some of the colors of the Drive Impacts can blend in with the other stages of the game. And sometimes it just doesn't feel like I'm getting hit with this because it was a skill issue. I feel like sometimes I get hit because it's not visible enough. But other than that, I really don't have any complaints about the game. Overall, I really think Street Fighter 6 is going to be one of the best among Third Strike and Marvel 2 if it can keep its stride, and if the game really releases without something being hugely game-breaking. Hats off to you, Capcom. I mean, you got it right. And, oh man, am I gonna play the hell out of this when it actually comes out. Please, Capcom, please drop another beta. I uninstalled 5 after this, and I want more, please. Please, please, bro, please!